How's it going, guys? Oddly Unorthodox. You know, we're here again. Total Warhammer 3 multiplayer. 2v2 this game. Two Wood Elf players playing against a Warriors of Chaos and a Vampire Coast. Sorry, a little bit lost for words there. So, going into this game, I again thought we're going to see a fair amount of artillery. The Hell Cannons aren't bad, and then Vampire Coast. You've got the Necrofex Colossuses, you've got the Ghost Gunners, you've got Hand Gunners, you've got Deck Droppers, you've got loads of range, and obviously that's without all the cannons, carronades, Queen Best that we see quite often used. So I expected quite a heavy artillery play. Now, there is a slight difference in me and my allies' forces. He's gone for a Glade Lord on Forest Dragon, double Hawk Riders, and I think 5 squads of Glade Guard. 2, 3, yep, 5, 6 Glade Guard, and then he's also gone for 3 squads of Way Watchers. Quite an interesting build, quite like the sound of it. I went for a mass sort of cavalry build. I think I've got 3 squads of Wild Riders. Yep, and then a bunch of Glade Riders as well. I think it's like 5 squads of Glade Riders or something silly. It's a very heavy cavalry build. But straight away, as I tell you guys to do, is always look at the start of the game when you're deploying what the numbers are looking like, and it will give you a bit of an inkling of what you were sort of expecting. So the Necrofex Colossuses, I was right on. Shade Wraith Gunners, I was right on, and then double Hell Cannon as well. Some cool tech pieces in my opponent's army. Now, you've got to remember, I don't see the units here in this tree line, and I didn't see these Marauders that I dropped my army into. So Marauder Horsemen, very strong unit with the ability to... They are quite fast. I think they're faster than my units. Glade Riders are just a little bit faster actually by 4. But I think they're faster than Wild Riders. By 5. So, they are great at kiting and dealing damage. And also, if they fight in melee, they still use their ranged attacks. Sort of like some of the legendary lords that have a ranged weapon, like Luther Harkin, for example. If he fights with Terrorgeist that hits you while he's shooting you. Quite a sort of interesting... But I mean, it does work. That's how it would work. Even from a table point, a tabletop perspective, that's how it would work. 2 different weapon profiles. So... And then obviously I've got my 3 trusty Way Watchers and the Regent of the Renown one, obviously. And Orion. Orion being... I don't think he's the strongest Lord. I could have gone for, a Glade Lord or something like that and just ran it up on an Eagle to catch up, and it probably would have been cheaper. But there's something about Orion I just love. I'll show one of his many uses this game as well. So going normally, I realised that I really don't want to shoot the Marauder Horsemen, but I'm going to have to put a few volleys in them to break them off. But we chase them away and then retreat back into the forest. Because obviously the Woodsman bonus and stuff like that, Forest Stalker bonus, it's better if I'm in the trees. Same with these guys. Run them out of the trees, then run back into the trees. The trees will block some of the shots. He groups and another, a good cast by Orion there. Not an awesome spell, but it does a fair amount of damage. Orion's already up to 3 kills, 400 gold worth of value. The second spell misses, sadly. But, it's not bad. We put some damage into these Marauders just to try and get them to run away. And we still play the trees quite safe. I sort of want them to make the first move. My Wood Elf at the moment, I think, is just slowly making his way up, not wanting to get into artillery range too much. The 2 squads of Deck Droppers get brought over to fight on my side because he realises the Marauder Horsemen are not going to be able to hold this. Which was my sort of plan. Not enough to take out a cannon, but fair enough damage. They move over and the undead start moving up. Now, this build would have been a lot harder to pull off if the undead had brought quite a lot of ground units as well. But only 2 squads of Sirens as your only melee is going to be quite strenuous on him. Obviously, he's got the summons from Count Noctilus, but it's just chaff. If he had brought some sort of depth guard, especially depth guard with pole arms, I would have been in a real spot of bother. So again, we're just playing with these Marauders at the minute. We sort of want to make them waste their time and breaks them away a little bit. You know, we break off these. You know, we're not getting them grouped up together again. I am taking some volleys from them, but I am breaking them off, and that's the idea. You know, another cast down there from Orion. I like to keep them nice and grouped. That one hits just. And then we change our target of our Way Watchers just to take out these deck droppers. Get rid of them, you know, only 18 models a squad, and you can see a volley just absolutely demolishes them. Doesn't kill any, but takes up quarter of the HP off. They're getting discouraged, which is why I bring the Regents to the Renown Way Watchers, because I think the discouraged ability on their volley is just so handy. And Orion, he can take the axes from these guys. Orion's tough. We just use them as a little bit of a target fodder. Another Hound's going down, doing a bit more damage. You know, Orion's up to 25 kills, not bad. And then we broke one squad of deck droppers, and then we should be able to break the second one in a minute. And the leadership debuff is especially nasty against undead factions that, you know, when you break their leadership, they start crumbling on themselves. You know, you can see there. They're getting absolutely crumbled and they're both just dead. So now I decide to play my hand. I push up because my ally's getting rammed a little bit too hard by their ranged. And I don't really want to leave my ally out to dry while I'm just fighting 4 squads. So I send these guys over. Now I don't know what Lord he has brought. It's quite a nice play for him to pick the ecstatic legions, because I expected Sigvald or Azazel, but instead he ends up bringing Valkyrie, which obviously we see now, but I don't see any of this in the forest. Any things we could see in the forest were the giants. So it was a bit intriguing to see what was coming, but this comes down at the last minute, but I tend to try and pull out the way. I think it misses the majority. It might hit that one squad of Glade Riders. You know, the last 2, but a decent dodge. I'll take it. We get a second spell coming down here, which we get out the way of. So managing to dodge 2 spells there. More than happy with that. And he brings his squads in. And I need to shut down the Hell Cannons, and I need to sow a little bit of disarray in there. I need to make sure he can't just easily shoot all of my ally off the board. The ally's dealing with the Sirens. And, you know, it's making sure that, yes, I'm not putting the cavalry in fights they're going to win. And I could definitely micromanage them better. Like, I could pull those out onto the Shade Raid Gunners, which I do in a minute. But it's trying to buy my allies some time. We're both playing builds that are very sort of run and kite. So to do that, we have to sort of give them room. You know, we're using the Glade Riders and Wild Riders to shut off the Horse Masters, but the Way Watchers are still very sort of healthy. You see, I did run the cavalry into the Shade Race to stop them from firing. But now Valkyrie comes over because I'm putting some fire into the Necrofax, which is not what they're happy with. So now I do the strategy that I always tell you guys to do. Move all your Way Watchers in different positions. If Valkyrie wants to drop on one of my Way Watchers, all the more power for her, but she's going to have to choose one squad to go after. Which was the play here. She goes for Orion, which is, I would prefer she goes for Orion. At this point, I'm using Orion as sort of like a weight. Now, I stopped shooting at her here because I have no interest in wasting ammo into the Demon Shield. So I changed my target, I'm pretty sure, to a bigger prey. And then now the Demon Shield's over, we start shooting her again. And, you know, she is a very scary combatant, but at the end of the day, Way Watchers are quite terrifying. And what we end up doing now is we back off while using our cavalry to sort of cover the retreat so I can get more shots off. You'll see what I mean in a second. So all the Way Stalkers retreat, Way Watchers retreat. Obviously putting in shots in as they retreat. which is the idea, you know, another volley straight in Valkyria's face. She decides she wants to leave that fight. She's not interested. And then she gets netted, which was a very nice play by my ally Glade Lord. You know, she takes a lot of damage there. I drop the smoke bomb, slow everything down to enable my retreat. The Glaive Riders run into the Hell Scourges, and then we back off again and put another volley into her. And this was the whole sort of gimmicky idea. We're just constantly running. Obviously, that's Sleipnir, is it called? But it was quite a poor cast and only really caught the back end. Quite a misplay by my enemy. He could have used that on a better line. So we're taking a bit of Shade Wraith Gun in there, which I'm not exactly a fan of. So I decide now is the time to retreat. But we're still putting volleys into the Chaos Giant, getting him off our ally Glade Guard, kiting him away, and we back up. Now I lose, obviously, Orion there, but Orion has done the job of keeping all this busy for that long. And now these Glaive Riders are into these, you know, Hell Scourges, and we back up again. And we're okay now to shut down the Chaos Giant. The Chaos Giant not too happy about taking Waywatcher fire to the back. And this is what I mean. At this point, it could be seen as, you know, we're struggling a bit here. You know, Valky's healthy, Noctilus is healthy. He's still got a lot of ammo on those gunners. And I'm really running out of things to block with extremely fast. But don't ever give up. Don't be the player that just throws in the concede straight away. Just keep thinking in your head, right, I'm playing a faction that really wants to shoot while running away. You know, that's one Chaos Giant done. Valkyria is a volley or two off just dying. You can see there she gets netted again, and we all turn to put our focus on her. And she's about to go down. There you go. Straight away, Waywatchers back up again, cavalry in to take the brunt of it. You know, we've got Wild Riders holding that Chaos Giant back, the Hell Cannon squad's back, the Chaos Warriors back. These squads are holding back the Marauders, so we can then take out the Giant. You know, it's like a game of chess. You're taking your enemy's army apart, biggest bit by biggest bit. Your main focus being the things that are the most awkward to deal with. Don't waste your ammo shooting a Hell Cannon crew. Shoot the Chaos Giant. The little Chaos Dwarfs there aren't scary. The Chaos Dwarfs that come in a month's time look like they're going to be terrifying. But, you know, as you can see, you just pepper that's the Chaos Giant down. Now, in my eyes, I'm thinking, right, what's the next thing I need to shut down? I need to stop the Shade Wraith Gunners. They're a huge problem. And I could do a kill in the Necrophax Colossus that's rank 3. So now that I've dealt with the Giants, you know, they're breaking. I'm not going to waste ammo just finishing them off, because I've not got, you know, I've got 4 ammo left on that one, 6 on that one, 4 on these guys. I could really do with saving the ammo for taking down health on bigger prey instead of just finishing stuff off. But as you can see, the volleys go Necrophax, and straight away it's being chunked. It's losing so much HP. He summons obviously some deckhand mobs to try and cover it, but it's just not going to help when it's taking that much ranged fire. And then we continue onwards. You know, the next unit we look for is we've got Count Noctilus over there, looking rather healthy. So we move our guys up, looking to take out Count Noctilus next. I'm just trying to give you guys a sort of minute by minute what I'm thinking of in the game. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best Wood Elf player, because I am not. I'm far from it. But I think elves in general I'm learning to be a bit better at. So we move up. Those Shade Wraiths are still firing. I do go to charge them, but they're just dying. So there's nothing to worry about there. And then we are obviously putting volleys into Count Noctilus. Make sure he goes down. You can see, you know, he doesn't like being volleyed in the slightest. And he drops some pirate deckhand mobs to try and stop my Waystalkers, you know. But at this point, there's too many ranged units on the battlefield. And I'm pretty sure he'll just run his Hawk Riders in. You know, their armor piercing melee, they're quite good, even when they run out of ammo. But at this point, you know, he's been peppered enough. He's had enough of being shot, and that's it. That's GG. let's have a look at some of the values we achieved on the units and see, you know, would the build be better in other ways. So let's see Orion. Orion got 1300 gold, which is about 900 less than he cost. But I will fully appreciate that he took a lot of the aggro for me and allowed my Waystalkers to retreat Way Watchers. Don't know why I keep calling them Waystalkers. I spend too much time playing Vermintide. And then the Hawkeyes of Trakira, not as good as they normally are. I didn't make as much money, but I did have them shooting slightly less high value targets like Marauders and stuff like that. So it's understandable. 1500 value on those guys, 1500 values on those guys, so them two made more than they were worth, but no record breaking ones like in other games. These Wild Riders 485, 650, 900, 300. Not a massive amount of value. I suppose if you look at, but then my alloys, they did better than my alloys variants, I guess. But the Glade Guard did do a good job. Not a massive amount of value, but obviously he was able to fill a lot more of them. Those Necrofex Colossuses. Oh dear. Just put in absolute work. The Giants, obviously, not great. Probably could have done with sacking off the Giants and bringing something a bit heavy on the ground that's shielded, maybe Chosen or something like that. But we'll wait and see. I'm not one to talk about how to build a Chaos Army because I am not that great at Chaos. This has been Oddly Unorthodox. If you've enjoyed watching, you want to see some more guides, you know, you want to have a few more sort of games under your belt, even just hit me up, message me in the comments, leave me your sort of game, your Steam ID or anything like that, and we'll get a few practice games going. I'm more than happy to learn with the people watching. I'm more than happy to play with the people watching. You know, there's quite a small community that enjoys strategy games like us, so I think it's key that we stay together. Right, this has been Oddly Unorthodox. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.